Part 2. Crimson Flower. Guardian Moon. The Master Tactician. Having crushed the Alliance's army and captured the Great Bridge of Myrden, the Imperial Army prepares to attack Deir-Dreu, the Alliance's base of operations.
Professor, what is your opinion of Claude? I can't help but wonder what sort of impression he made on you. That much is obvious. He acts like a fool, but still manages to make the impossible happen. That's as true now as ever. He's managed to protect the Leicester Alliance with his cunning alone. Since the beginning, territories within the Alliance have been split between those who support the Empire and those who oppose it. Claude has been acting as an intermediary between the two, essentially keeping the Alliance pacified. As both sides are of equal strength, he's created a situation in which they've all agreed to avoid fighting each other and causing undue bloodshed. By carrying on as though the Alliance is united, he's minimized the Empire's influence there.
It's quite impressive how well his bold scheme has worked out. However, he is walking on thin ice. One wrong move and the Alliance will shatter. Speaking of Claude, Your Majesty, we should not delay in our invasion of the Alliance. It would seem that Claude has some fresh scheme up his sleeve, to no one's surprise.
Is that so?
Yes. The people of Deir-Dreu have suddenly found it difficult to leave or enter the city. We can safely assume he is preparing for battle, but I am certain his plans extend beyond that as well. Do you not think we should take Deir-Dreu at once?
Deir-Dreu, the aquatic capital. A city floating on the ocean certainly poses a challenge. Since it's deep within Regan territory, we haven't had the opportunity to attack it directly. However, now that we have control of the Great Bridge of Myrden, our situation has changed drastically. They can no longer expand their supply line into the Empire, and so we can finally attack Regan territory.
House Regan is not only Claude's house, but also the flagship of those who oppose the Empire within the Alliance. If House Regan falls, the other Alliance lords will be tripping over themselves to join us. That is why we cannot fail to take Deir-Dreu. Confidence is one thing, Professor, but see to it that you do not underestimate Claude. The leader of the Alliance has had many things said about him. They say he is unbeatable in a battle of intellect. I hear they call him the Master Tactician.
Take that!
Yes, I am in a hurry. Edelgard claims victory after victory. She never stops. 5 years ago, she ascended the throne and swept away the corrupt nobles, my father included. I always thought I would be the one to unseat him. But she did it instead, with all the ease and indifference of someone cracking an egg. Now, as the head of House Eyre, I serve Edelgard. I have to accept that I am her subordinate, working beneath her to reunify Fodlan. The disparity between Edelgard and myself is obvious. She never stops moving forward, single-minded, never wavering. But where does that leave me? Here, flailing about, going nowhere, contributing nothing. But it is. That is the reality. Not once since our days at the Academy have I exceeded Edelgard's abilities. I saw her as a worthy opponent. She did not even see me as a contender. She did not even consider me at all. As the head of the noble House Ire, I must be able to achieve results. But all my efforts have come to nothing. Results are everything. I have not shown results, so I will be stagnating here forever. I appreciate your kind words, but you are wrong. I know that I have a massive wall to climb, and I must climb it alone. Even so, may I ask a favor? Professor, please keep an eye on my progress. I would appreciate if you were always by my side, bearing witness to my accomplishments.
Edelgard, do you have a minute?
You want to speak with me? How unusual. Please, come in. I'll prepare some tea for us. Have a seat. Would you care for some cake?
Yes, please. I never say no to sweets.
They're from Enbar. A bit too sweet for my own liking.
Isn't that the whole point of cake? Well, more for me. These are fantastic with this tea.
True. Well, there's no shortage of them. Help yourself to as many as you like. Now then, you wish to speak with me?
So, I can tell you know a fair bit about me.
Maybe this can wait until you've finished eating?
Edelgard, you know a fair bit about me, don't you?
What in particular?
For example, the fact that I have 2 crests.
Oh, that's hard to believe.
No need to play coy with me. It won't work. It's clear my body has succumbed to the intense pressure of bearing 2 crests. Due to the immense requirements of bearing these crests, my life expectancy is painfully short. You know all of this, right?
Actually, this is the first I'm hearing of it. How would I know unless you told me?
Still won't drop the act, huh? Despite how obvious you've been with your concern about my health, you're certainly consistent. I'm not really in the mood for these games. Given your rank, you certainly have access to all kinds of information that others do not. Clearly, you'd have heard all about me.
Either way, I know now since you just told me. About your 2 crests, your physical weakness, and your short life expectancy. However, according to the principles of crest research, it's impossible to bear 2 crests. Unless you've undergone a blood reconstruction surgery. Is that the case, Lysithea?
Correct. It wasn't as though I had a say in any of this.
I see. So you've lived through that relentless terror and agony, and survived.
You speak of all of this as though you understand it on a personal level. Edelgard, have you?
You're a good friend, Lysithea, and a valuable member of this army. So I won't have you overexerting yourself. I don't want to lose you. Understand?
I understand.
Good girl. Oh, and if you like those cakes, why not take some with you for later?
There's no need to pander to me, but yes, I'll take those. Thanks.
Looking out toward Bridget, are you?
Yes. There are some times I cannot stop my thoughts from going home. It will be much time before I return. Bridget feels far away.
It is quite a long way. To say nothing of the sea that lies between here and there. Being unable to return must further add to the distance in your mind.
It is as you say. When I return to Bridget, I will be the new queen. I am wishing to show my strength during this war, and to help relations with the Empire.
I believe you will be successful. You may not be Lady Edelgard's equal, but you are resourceful enough to make an excellent queen. And unlike Lady Edelgard, you will not be forced to harden your heart.
Not Edelgard's equal? Is that what you are saying?
Understand that I mean no disrespect by this. But it is a fact that you are far beneath her. Make no mistake about what would happen if you were to raise your banner in revolt against her. She would crush you mercilessly.
That is not a difference of equality. It is a difference of power.
Even if our homelands were on equal footing, Lady Edelgard would still prevail.
I can see with clarity the difference between me and Lady Edelgard. But that has no matter. I would never lose.
How amusing. For your sake, you had better hope you are right.
You.
What did I do? Am I in your way? I'm in your way. I know, I get it. I'm sorry. I can't stand the sight of me either.
I never said that. Stay right there. You're always running away. You must really find me irritating.
Irritating? I know. I completely... What? No, I mean, I know I'm irritating, but... Huh?
Stop. Do you remember when you came up behind me and knocked the sword from my hands? I need you to teach me that technique.
Sword? Teach? Technique? That's a joke, right? Because that's just about the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Maybe so, but I saw you do it. You don't remember? You moved like a flash, and before I knew it...
Nope, wasn't Bernie. You must have dreamed it. Unless my accuser dares to produce some evidence.
Yes, evidence. I still have your satchel, see?
Oh, my satchel. Wait, that? No, that's not mine. You can't prove it's mine.
You know it's yours.
I'm innocent, I swear. Merciful Zero, save me!
This is getting nowhere. But, maybe I should corner her like last time. Then she'll use the technique without thinking. Never mind. I'm done here.
Lies! All lies! I didn't do any... Huh? Well, where'd he go?
Ah, there it is. Just as I thought. But what is she hiding?
Oh, Linhardt. My apologies. I didn't mean to bother you.
Ah, Marianne. You're no bother at all. In fact, you've arrived at precisely the right time.
Huh? The right time for what?
You have a crest, don't you?
I don't... What are you saying?
If you hide it, that just makes it more interesting. You do have one.
Please don't tell anyone. You can't tell anyone I have a crest. If people find out, then...
What?
Please, my adoptive father told me to keep it a secret. And I personally don't want it known.
Who said I intended to tell anyone? Your secret is safe with me. I find it fascinating that you carry the crest of the erased hero.
Please stop, don't say another word. No one should know about or even speak of my crest. Nothing good comes of it. It's even the reason my parents disappeared. This crest only brings bad luck to anyone who comes near me. Even you, Linhardt, you have to stay away.
Bad luck generated by the crest? Now that would be a discovery well worth making. What manner of bad luck do you suppose might beset me?
No, you shouldn't be so cavalier about something you couldn't possibly understand. I have to go.
It's true, I don't understand. But I very much want to.
Why am I so off? Yesterday wasn't like this. Some days I just can't seem to hit anything.
Your mind, body, and technique are not synchronized. Find harmony between the three. You lack experience. You'll improve if you practice.
Now that you mention it, Shamir, how come I've never seen you train? Do you keep odd hours? Or are you just so good that you don't even need it anymore?
I am always training. Look here.
A dagger.
Watch.
Wow, nice throw. That was a long one. But does throwing knives at pillars really count as shooting practice?
Look closely.
Is that a centipede? You pierced it clean in half. How did you even see that?
I train everything. Eyes, speed, accuracy. Watch as the bird flies. Feel the wind. Recognize the distance between objects. Not all training requires a weapon. Integrate training into your daily routine.
My daily routine, huh? Well, that's great advice. Thanks. I'll do my best.
Very good. Just be cautious. I wish we could settle all of this before the fighting begins, don't you? I wish it dearly, but few others feel that way. They fight in a bloody battle, take countless lives, and then finally come to understand defeat. They refuse to admit when they're beaten, and they keep it up until they've been utterly defeated. Of course, I understand that sacrifice is inevitable. But if they're going to surrender after being defeated anyway, why raise a weapon in the first place?
So we've somehow managed to take the Great Bridge of Murden. That means House Gloucester should now be ready to join the fold more formally. We've blown a major hole in Claude's plan to preserve the Alliance. We should press on to Deir-Dreu before he has the opportunity to adjust his strategy.
Professor, I think you should be made aware of a certain group working with the Imperial Army. They are the same lot that invented a technique to turn monsters into war assets. It's quite obvious their trick draws on the power of the Creststones, but there is something more to it than that. Some secret I have yet to decipher. I suppose I need to better understand what kind of people they are. Who are they? What do they want? For her part, Miss Edelgard is cooperating, yet does not hide her hostility towards them. I suspect we should prepare, in case the day should come when we must combat these strange people.
Remember the Death Knight who stabbed me 5 years ago? Of course you do. How could you forget? Well, it turns out he's a general in the Imperial Army. He leads the Western Front against the Kingdom. Once I knew he was at Garreg-Mach, I stormed right up to him, told him who I was and what he did. And he offered me an apology. I'm talking about a sincere, heartfelt, solemn apology. What a letdown. What's going on with that guy anyway? Who is he under that mask?
Lately, the Kingdom and the Knights of Seiros haven't made any significant moves. I don't suppose they're going to stand by and watch while we attack Deir-Dreu, though. That's why I've doubled our guard and instructed them to be extra vigilant. I will keep Garreg-Mach safe. It is my duty and responsibility.
Big brother always gets so fired up. Better keep an eye on him. Oh, sorry. I was just talking to myself. I hear you're heading out to Deir-Dreu. Good luck with the battle.
5 years ago, during the attack on this place, you allowed me to join your side. Since then, I've risen through the ranks. And now I'm a general leading my own army. In this invasion of the Alliance, I've been entrusted with maintaining the supply lines and keeping the Goneril territories under control. That's why I won't be accompanying you to Deir-Dreu. Please look after Lady Edelgard.
Your invitation gives me great joy. I have gratitude. It's needing sweetness. Yes. Inspirational. Yes. Yes. Inspirational. It gives me great pleasure to be speaking with you like this. Inspirational. My hair is of a Brigid style. It is giving me joy that you are liking it. I am not having many chances to show off clothing of Brigid. It is regretful. Do you have curiosity about my mark? Perfect temperature. I will be waiting happily for you to be inviting me again. May I be asking a question? You have great wisdom.
Dear Goddess, I ask for guidance. Professor, you're always watching over me, aren't you? I've spent my entire life avoiding people. Speaking to others was so difficult for me, so I made a point to always be alone. Animals and the goddess were the only ones I could really open up to. Do you remember the time you asked what it was I prayed for? Yes, but that wasn't the case. Back then, I felt that my life served no purpose, and that I was nothing more than a burden. In truth, I was begging the goddess to take me to her. That was my daily prayer. But now I fear the idea of dying and being left alone. I have friends who accept me for who I am now, in spite of my crest. And I have you watching over me. I finally learned to accept the kindness and warmth of others. It's because of you, Professor. Because of you, I've decided to live. I'm sorry to have worried you, but I'm all right now. Even if I'm separated from you or any of my friends, the memories I've made here will give me the strength to continue on. Oh, I'm sure I'll have the strength to move forward if we're together.
Hey, Professor. I think you've been working too much lately. The battle's gonna keep going with or without you, but you're the one doing the most out there. It's real impressive how you can focus on giving orders and fighting. I don't think I could do both in the same battle. I see you running all over the place, even after the battle's over. I just don't want you to wear yourself out. Oh yeah? As soon as you say you're fine, that's when it hits you. No offense, Professor, but don't you think some folks might be taking advantage of you? Like when you gave that speech to the troops. That didn't seem like something you wanted to do. I know you gotta follow orders on the battlefield, but you shouldn't have to do things off the battlefield if you don't wanna. What do you mean? Like studying? Sure, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but that was to keep my little sis fed. I had good reason for it. The same, huh? I think I get what you mean. You do things you don't want to do for the sake of everyone else. That's real noble of you, Professor. I guess I can't get in your way if you're doing it for the right reasons. Okay then. I'm gonna keep trying to do my best. But now, I'm gonna do it for you. My little sis is important to me. But you're real important too. I always work hard for the people who matter to me. And having more of them in my life just means I gotta work even harder. What do you think? Really? I wasn't expecting you to say that. You're gonna make me blush. We gotta keep working hard together then. At least until this war's over. I'll work to make sure you don't collapse from exhaustion. You got nothing to worry about, Professor. I've been training non-stop. I got your back, no matter what.
With you, I can... Yeah, let's get this done. We did some great work.
Thanks for your help out there. Battles tend to go smoother with you around. I think you did most of the heavy lifting. It may be unwise to think this way on the battlefield, but I feel I can trust your commands without question. Not sure. I might have an idea, but never mind. I've also noticed that you've been putting me in more precarious situations lately. Almost like you know I won't question your orders. Huh. I'm glad you trust me to get the job done, but still, I knew you were doing it on purpose. You're in a very important position now that you're leader of the Imperial Army. Funny to think you used to just teach at the Officers' Academy. Your old students still call you Professor. That's no title for the commander of an army. Relax, I was just having fun. You sure are an interesting one. My people lost the war, and I was left to wander Fodlan alone, but I guess meeting you was my prize. You look confused. Did you not know any of this? I was living in my homeland of Dagda up until the Imperial Army destroyed it 10 years ago. But being a mercenary, I have no real allegiance. That's why I'm working here now. Don't worry though, I don't plan to turn on you.
I have been watching you in secrecy, Edelgard. But you and Hubert were noticing me, correct?
Well, if you intend to shadow us like that, you can be sure it won't escape our notice. Hubert was primed and ready to remove you. I ordered him to stand down.
You have my thanks. I have been making a decision that I am wanting to learn from you. I was thinking it was enough to be shooting one bird with one arrow. But after speaking with you, I trained with hardness. Now I can be shooting 2 birds with 1 arrow.
2 pheasants? Are you implying that...
Yes, a single arrow.
That's astounding, Petra. It's perhaps a bit late to explain now, but what I was getting at earlier was actually...
I am having a joke.
You... come again?
I really was shooting these birds with 1 arrow, but my joke is that I did have understanding about what you told me. I took it to my heart.
Did you know?
You are a person with great bluntness. I am admiring of you. As an emperor, a commander, a warrior, and a friend, you are excelling at all that you do. All of the Empire is resting on your shoulders, and that is including Brigid, too. I will not be falling behind you. I will be carrying Brigid on my shoulders, too. And one day, you and I will be facing each other, and we will be shaking hands.
Yes, that much is certain. I can see that you no longer need me to look out for you. You and I are much the same. We dutifully shoulder our burdens and stand tall no matter what. It would be foolish of me to deny it.
Your words give me great joy. And it also gave me joy to see you being flustered when I was showing you the birds.
A cheap trick, to be sure, but inarguably funny. To think that you went to all the trouble of shooting 2 pheasants at once for the sake of a joke. Well played, Petra.
We both are growing every day. I hope we will keep doing so.
Ah, Dorothea. I am surprised to find you here. I did not think you were all that religious.
There's a lot you don't know, Ferdy. But you're right. I'd hardly call myself devout. After all, it was thanks to the goddess and her noble regime that I suffered so much as a child.
You must be quite brave to speak so coarsely in this hallowed place. But what do you mean about suffering as a child?
Do I really have to tell you? Oh, forget it. I'm sure you already know that I'm an orphan. I grew up in the alleys of Enbar, begging for coins, eating scraps, drinking from drains.
I see. I remember seeing street children around the city.
I could have died. Then the right person overheard me singing. And suddenly I was in the opera. I was a songstress. And my goodness, did the nobles like me. The people who used to spit on me and call me an urchin, they praised my voice and my beauty. A nobleman who once kicked me gave me the most gorgeous shoes. I almost asked if it was a joke.
So that is why you despise the nobility. But why do you think I am the same as them? Do you really believe that is the kind of man I am? You think I would ever treat people differently based on appearances? There is nothing noble about that.
Oh, really? You're something different? That's not how I remember things. It was the very day that I was discovered. I was in high spirits. Nothing was wrong in the world. I secretly bathed in one of the town's fountains, hoping to wash off some of the dirt from the streets. I sang the same song the opera composer overheard earlier that day. And that's when you appeared.
Me? No, it could not have been.
Don't play dumb. You glared at me, the same look I'd gotten from every other noble, then you ran off. When we met at the academy, you were a different person. All smiles and friendly words. You were like a bee, Ferdinand. A bee attracted to a flower in full bloom.
So it was you then, singing that song. Dorothea, please listen. This is a misunderstanding. When I saw you, I could not take my eyes off you. I was hypnotized. Your beautiful voice, your elegant face, droplets of water on your skin that glittered in the sun. I thought you were a water nymph.
Stop it, don't lie to me.
No, it is true. I was only a child. The vision overwhelmed me. That is why I ran. I plucked up the courage to return, but no one was there. I thought perhaps it was a dream.
Maybe I can believe you. I've wanted to, ever since the day you made me those traits. I thought then that maybe you weren't like the others, but there's a lot I have to let go of, Ferdy.
Of course. I am glad we had this conversation. You know, I do not mind you thinking of me as a bee. Life as a simple drone, circling a queen. It actually sounds quite wonderful.
Don't drones keep the queen safe from other bugs? I like the sound of that.
There you are, Lysithea. I've been looking for you. So, I have a hypothesis about your crests.
I know you're the one who sent me that anonymous letter. There are things we must discuss. Ugh, it sounded like some bizarre love letter.
What? No, of course not. However, I wonder what you would have done if it was.
Now I'm just confused and grossed out.
I'm sorry, but that is not the overall topic of discussion. Do pay attention.
Pay attention to you? As though anything you say is worth listening to. It's not like you can tell me anything I don't already know.
You don't have a very positive opinion of your crests, do you? That's why you should listen to me. I've dug through all my books, and there's no record of anyone being born with 2 crests. You are, to be blunt, an impossible occurrence. For you to have a second crest, it must have been forcibly implanted after birth.
Is that your theory, then?
Yes, it is. To further the theory, if the power exists to implant a crest, then it must be possible to remove one too. And that is the real issue at hand.
I could have one removed?
That's what Hanneman is working on understanding. I'm helping him with it.
Professor Hanneman.
Based on your reaction, it seems you want one of your crests removed. I don't think I'd give up having 2 crests if I were you.
Is that so? Even if you'd gone through horrifying experiments, endless trauma, and if you knew that all this pain meant you'd die very, very young? That's what you'd think? You're completely lacking in empathy, so of course you would make such a crass and foolish assumption.
It's almost time to depart. Are you ready? A promising answer. Whatever happens, never allow your foe to see any weakness. We must pay close attention not only to Claude's schemes, but to the man himself. He's a master archer who wields the legendary bow, Fail Not. He won't fall easily. It's the relic of House Regan. That bow once belonged to one of the 10 elites. Professor, do you know the true story behind the legend? The relics were created by the hands of mankind. Seiros collected them after killing the 10 elites. Seiros manipulated the people of the world and defeated the all-powerful King Nemesis. That's the history the Church of Seiros maintains. In reality, it was little more than a simple dispute. Should the one leading the people of the world be someone with humanity, or a creature that can merely masquerade as a human at will? In the end, Seiros was victorious. The Immaculate One and her family then took control of Fodlan. I know this because that knowledge is passed down from Emperor to Emperor. And that is because the first Emperor is the human who cooperated with Seiros, allowing humanity to be controlled in secret. Perhaps it's fate that you can wield the sword of the Creator, just like Nemesis, the King of Liberation. And that very fate will lead you to use that sword to stand against those who would distort history.
It seems they've set out from Garreg Mach. That's sooner than expected. Losing the Great Bridge of Myrddin was a serious blow. So is the fact that Teach is still alive. On top of all that, Judith. I told her to run if things look grim. Damn it. So many people will die, and by my call.
And what of it? Would you rather turn tail and run back home?
Deir, you're really getting on my nerves. Do you have any idea how much of the Alliance adores me and believes in me?
Well, I suppose it's quite a lot. Does that mean that...
Yes, the plan is a go. I'm counting on you, Deir. We'll make a good show taking down those who would assault Deir-Dreu.
People say our kind may not always win, but we never lose. Let's teach them the real meaning of those words.
Now then, let's see what you're made of, Teach. Here she comes, at long last. I've done all I can to prepare. Let the cards fall where they may. It'll be a true test of strength.
It seems Claude has blockaded the city and occupied the naval port.
If that is the case, he will have no choice but to engage us from there.
Yes, though putting myself in Claude's place leaves me with an unpleasant feeling. If we take over the port and close the entry to the city, Deir-Dreu will be under our control. Each soldier should bear that in mind as they advance.
Now it's our turn, Almyra's elite. Strike the flanks of the Imperial Army. Those fangs and claws the Alliance fears so much will now be their salvation.
Leave it to us, kiddo. My undefeated streak will live on. Another chapter in my heroic saga.
That flag and banner. Is that the Almiran army? Ugh, you really did it, Claude.
This is no ruse. That is Nadir, an Almiran general.
Take care of them quickly, especially those Almiran wyverns.
It's over.
It won't be in vain.
Guess I got you! Pretty good, huh?
Big win! That's a win for everyone.
That's another one. Am I getting closer?
I must steel myself. I'll keep moving forward.
It's been 30-odd years since I first set foot on a field of battle. Here's a taste of my undefeated strength. Sorry, kiddo. It seems we'll have to withdraw.
You've done enough, Nadir. Just stay alive. We'll meet again one day.
We have forced the Almiran forces to flee. I doubt they're expecting more reinforcements.
You didn't forget about me, did you? Maybe you should just let me go.
Teach, you should have chosen me instead of Edelgard. No point in whining about it now, I suppose. Sorry, but I'll be taking the win today. Too easy. We haven't seen each other since Garreg Mach. You've grown lovelier than ever, Edelgard.
You're not so unfortunate yourself. And as usual, you're here at a most inopportune moment.
Well, I'm sure we have much to talk about. But how about we settle things first?
No objections here. Prepare yourself, Claude.
Enough! You've bested me. If I die here, the Alliance becomes part of the Empire.
Do you yield then? You've never known when to give up.
Well, I can't just surrender so easily. I'm responsible for the others. If you're as smart as you seem, I bet you figured out why I was able to summon Almiran reinforcements. Wouldn't it be better to let me go and have me in your debt? Thank you, Professor. And you, Edelgard. I'm truly grateful for your courageous decision. I will return your kindness one day. I promise.
Everybody, raise your voices in a victory cheer! Deir-Dreu is ours!
Hey, Teach.
Claude.
Settle down, will you? You're the victor, after all. I could have escaped, but I decided to say hi to Teach. Nothing to worry about. Deir-Dreu has fallen and the Alliance has collapsed. There's nothing I could do to turn things around at this point.
You want me to drop my guard around someone who evaded detection by my soldiers? Impossible. Did you really risk coming here just to say hello?
I did. But mostly, I wanted to say goodbye. I'm leaving Fodlan.
And you might.
I knew I liked you, Teach. I dare say Fodlan would be a lot more peaceful without me around. Right, Your Majesty?
It's as you say. So long as you remain here, the faction of the Alliance that is against the Empire will continue to support you.
Too true. It's best if I leave this place altogether. I'll just have to find some other way to pay back my debt to you. All I ask is that you go easy on the Alliance. After all, no one there would dare defy you now. And please treat my former classmates well. I've asked them to cooperate with you if I lost.
Wait, did your scheming include a plan for if the Alliance lost?
You think too highly of me. It just seems that way now. Outside of Deir-Dreu, most of the Alliance is unscathed and ready to join your superior strength. In all honesty, I was hoping to become a supreme ruler and lead Fodlan to peace myself. But that won't be happening now.
Claude.
Good luck to you, Edelgard.
We crushed him in battle, and yet... he really is difficult to understand.
Lady Edelgard, Deir-Dreu is now completely under our control. As planned, the Alliance's affairs will now be overseen by Count Burgles.
My father is coming here? First west, then east. You sure keep him busy.
Should the others return to the monastery and prepare to face the kingdom?
Yes, thank you, Hubert. Thanks to all of your efforts, our battle with the Alliance has reached its conclusion. However, we still can't afford to be careless. We must now join the battle against the kingdom. With the strength of the Church on their side, they will prove to be a formidable enemy. More than ever, your support is invaluable. We'll need it in the days to come. But for now, let's enjoy our triumphant return.
Let's get to it!
I'm so happy that the end of the fighting is near. Too bad there's still more violence to come.
The Kingdom and the Church of Seiros are worthy for fighting. I will crush them into very small pieces.
Crushing wouldn't yield a lot of pieces, but I guess it would get the job done. With the Professor, we can't lose. Probably.
Oh no, are we fighting Lady Rhea? But she's scary, and she'll be really angry. But no way she can stay in her spooky beast form all the time, right? If she could, she would have come and attacked the monastery as many times as she wanted.
It may be wishful thinking, but perhaps it is a power that she can only access when the situation is dire. But whether she is the Archbishop or the Immaculate One, we cannot be stopped. Half remains, but half is finished. We are certainly moving forward.
No one can stop us from pushing forward. No one.